Today, let's break down the best clan war attack for 2021 using the super witches and the regular witches. What's going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and today we are going to be breaking down for you the best clan war attack for 2021 that you guys have been requesting for in the comments below, and that is none other than the super witches and the regular witches. This is actually incredibly strong. Now, this base design here has all multis, but it's very easy to look at a base for super witches. You want to be able to cut off a particular area of the base, and you want to do the same thing on the other side. That way, what you're able to do is you're able to have a tight area where the super witches can stay together and move through. Pretty simple stuff if you think about it. So you want to use the lightning spells to get rid of as many structures as you can around an Inferno Tower. In this case here, by getting rid of this area, we can Warden Walk or Queen Walk this entire side towards the Town Hall. So you have a lot of options in your capability if you would like to use the Warden Walk or the Queen Walk. I would definitely recommend adding a Queen Walk though if you were to use this, especially if you don't have your Warden maxed out, but using the lightning spells in order to get rid of an Inferno Tower is truly going to speed up both your Warden Walk and your Queen Walk. And taking advantage of a compartment like that, or something fairly similar, you can honestly do on a lot of different base designs. It doesn't just have to be an Inferno Tower. So you'll see from here is that we're going to be starting to lure our Warden over by using the witches and also using the Queen. I should say the super witches, but you can see how everything is going to be able to power through. And this is something that you should really honestly have fun with. You want to be able to then create the funnel on the other side with the siege barrack and the king. That way what you're able to then do is cut this down. Now, something that you may have noticed is he did use a super wall breaker in order to break this first layer. That way, what he's able to do is get right into the town hall, and you'll see how he has the super witches and the regular witches powering into the town hall compartment, making it easier for him by using the jump spell, as you can see here, to get him over to all three of these areas. He's able to get rid of the multi-target Infernos and the Eagle Artillery thanks to the use of the jump spell. And this can honestly work on a plethora of different bases. You can also bring a Quad Quake if you feel that it is necessary. You may not have access to using the Zap Quake though in this one. But notice how many of the super witches we have up. And along with that, you can always bring witches or even a Yeti in the clan castle if you choose to do so. But you can see how strong this is, allowing the super witches to overpower the base, and despite us losing one super witch, we still have three of them still remaining up. And this really comes down to the healers. Keeping the witches, the super witches alive is incredibly valuable. Super witches are incredibly strong right now, and you can see exactly why. Being able to get through, even if all your heroes die out, unfortunately, you can still easily crush a base with the super witches. Even one healer is enough to keep a super witch alive against a multi-inferno. So you really have a lot of different options. You can see all of these super witches that we still have up. But this attack strategy, adding the witches with the super witches, is actually something that I would recommend that you guys definitely try out. Here's another example where you guys can use the super witches with the regular witches. You can actually use the Zap Quake here, like in this case here, where there is going to be more defenses inside a Inferno Tower compartment, but if you can get rid of multiple structures, like for instance here, the Inferno Tower, cannon, and the archer or the air defense, that way what you're able to do is then it can easily allow you to use either a Queen Walk or Warden Walk. That way you can walk right towards the town hall. It's incredibly viable that you can do either or. Usually though, I would highly recommend, if you're going to do a Warden Walk, start with the Warden and then use the lightning spells. If you're going to be doing it the other way around, then just go ahead and use the lightning spells first and then go ahead and use the Queen Walk. That way it's a little bit easier. But usually you want to try and actively create the funnel for both. So bringing in a baby dragon is actually a great choice for you to do. So that way what you're able to do is control either your warden or your queen without having to do so much funneling with too many troops. So that way you can then control where your warden is going to go. And you want to make sure that the transition from either your heroes to the super witches is smooth. So that way you can keep those super witches and regular witches alive as they power through the base. So you want to be able to start creating the other side of the funnel as you get closer over. So you're going to be using a king and also the super witch in order to sort of create a funnel. You could also have a big boy to kind of help with that super witch since she's going to stay on the outside for a majority of it. So you can have the regular witches as well powering in and supporting as a funnel troop. So you can see how we can use them both in the with the super witches and also with the king. And as you're able to start making your way into the base, you're going to be able to easily crush through the town hall with no problem, like it's nothing. So that way what you're able to then do is crush through the rest of it. Now something to keep in mind is the town hall is one major threat, but the other major threat is the eagle artillery. So you can get it in a plethora of different ways. By having maybe a couple of your super witches in the core of the base pushing through, maybe some going on the outside, or even having hog riders in the siege barrack. Unlike the previous example where we showed you guys the use of the Yeti and the witch, you can actually go ahead and use hog riders in there in order to get rid of a plethora of different defenses and to support on the back end. So as you can see from here, we've got regular witches and super witches scattered all around the base as they move through. But the main thing here is having those hog riders destroy defenses, act a little bit as a tank, and make sure that these super witches and big boys do get into towards that eagle artillery and towards the Inferno Tower to make it easier for the rest of the push. And you can see from here that we only have 2 super witches up, but we do have a regular witch up. So you have a lot of different options, and this works, again, incredibly well, and something that you may want to use, especially if you are seeing a lot of time fails. So if you're time failing a lot, maybe add those witches, because those skeletons can really provide a lot of support. Keep in mind that you will want to use those rage spells to make sure that the super witches are going in the right direction and you're able to smash through the rest of the base. Now that kind of really goes over exactly what you're doing with adding the witches, but you don't always need to do that, and instead you can just bring all super witches. Now if you don't want to use the regular witches with the super witches, you can just always go ahead and use a traditional super witch smash. Now, in this case, we're using 5 lightning and 1 earthquake. Why is that? Well, we need the 5 lightning to get rid of the expo. 5 lightning and 1 earthquake is enough to get rid of a expo here. So, using it there, we can get rid of this, we can knock out this entire area and make it easier for everything else to start moving in towards the town hall. That's actually exactly what you want. So by using the lightning spells to get rid of this, using a warden walk to go in the direction that you want, creating the funnel and sending everything in is exactly what you want to do with this. So treating it very similar to exactly what I was mentioning before, but instead of actually using the regular witches, you're just going to use the super witches. It depends on the army composition, but normally though you want to make sure that you're able to get rid of a plethora of different defenses around an Inferno Tower, whether it's single or multi, or even any other structures in general. But you also want to make sure that you're able to create enough of a funnel to where you can actually either use a queen walk or warden walk. And in this case here, the warden walk was better because of the air defense placement. It would force our queen to go down. So instead, you're going to use the warden walk so you can actually walk this direction, since the warden can reach it without having to step up towards it. So that way, you can use the super witches to go in with your queen, and that way you can start sending everything into the base. Again, notice the super wall breaker, using it in order to open up the town hall compartment to make it even easier for the push that goes through. And you're using the siege barrack in order to create the funnel along with the king to cut down the base and to make sure that everything is going right towards the town hall. Now, you don't always need the Warden Eternal Tome to get to the Town Hall. Look at how those Super Witches just absolutely ate up that Town Hall like it was nothing. That is how strong Super Witches are underneath Rage, and even by themselves, they're incredibly strong. So you can see how everything is moving through, and the use of the jump spell here is enough to start moving them towards the back end of the base. If I would recommend something though, if you want to get to the opposite side, you may want to use a jump spell that handles both compartments and goes over both of them, so you can actually get to the other side easier. And that way, you're going to be able to get rid of the Eagle Artillery. It's not as much of a threat as you may think, but if you leave it alone for a long period of time, it's going to add up, especially if you start to lose your healers. So that's definitely something that I would keep in mind in terms of using the Super Witches, but this just goes to show how strong they really are. Now, I wish I could do the Super Witches live for you guys, but unfortunately, I have my witches upgrading in my laboratory. So, maybe in the future, we could even do some live attacks using the Super Witches and regular witches live on it. But let's also take a look at another variation, not using them in a smash, but using them in a witch slap. Now, this variation here is probably one of my favorites that I actively really want to try out once I get my Super Witches, and this is a Super Witch Slap. Just to simplify it for you guys, you're going to be using the Super Witches on the left and the right side with healers in order to get rid of an area, treating it very similar to a regular Witch Slap. Then you have bowlers and also your heroes with the Siege Barrack to power through with 2 to 3 jump spells. That is how easy this attack is. So you're going to be using these Super Witches, and we'll keep it kind of zoomed out so you guys can see, using 2 Super Witches and then also using 2 healers. Same thing on the other side to create some pathing. No lightning spells are needed in this one, and it's really simple. It's very straightforward. So that way what you're able to do is you're able to use the Super Witches to create the funnel, keeping them on the outside, and then you've got the heroes, the bowler, and the P.E.K.K.A.s from the Siege Barrack to kind of create the funnel, but also to go in with the rest of your attack. And you could use them along with the Rage spell and possibly a heal spell if you would like, in order to get all the way across the base. The Super Witches, the P.E.K.K.A.s, are going to really help this attack move through. You can deal with the enemy clan castle troops very easily, and you're using those jump spells to get all the way across the base here. While the Super Witches on the left and the right with the Hog Riders, being able to kind of support them as they continue to move through. You can even use the Rage spell with the Hog Riders if you choose to do so. But you're mainly making sure that you're able to get to the Town Hall, to the Eagle Artillery, and just allowing everything else to consistently power through. Unfortunately, in this example, we lost all of our bowlers. So you don't necessarily need the bowlers. The bowlers are really temporary, so that way the Super Witches can still stay alive, the heroes can stay alive, and then they can power through a majority of the base, allowing you to get rid of stuff like the Inferno Tower, making it easier for your Super Witches on the outside. And even if you lose all of your heroes, you should still have a majority of your Super Witches still up. Here, we're going to lose a Super Witch, but we still have 3 Super Witches left up, even though we don't have any healers. This is an incredibly powerful attack, and if I were to recommend any attack strategy, I would totally recommend this one attack strategy. It is so strong, so easy to use, and it is truly going to wreck bases. All these Super Witch attacks are, technically speaking, the best Clan War League, or the best Clan War attacks that you'll really want to use in the game. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell if you want to become a better attacker here at Town Hall 12. Make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me over on the social and join my Discord server. Without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.